For Qin! For honor! Move quickly!
In the year 273 BC, in the heart of ancient China, 130,000 men perished in a single day. This was not the toll of a protracted siege or a long campaign. It was the brutal sum of one battle, engineered by one General Bai Qi of Qin, against the combined forces of Wei, Han, and Zhao. A slaughter on a scale rarely seen in any era. Welcome back to the History Atlas. Today, we unravel the brutal efficiency of Qin's war machine at the Battle of Huayang. A battle that rewrote the rules of ancient warfare and solidified one general's fearsome legacy. The Warring States period, from 475 to 221 BC, was an era of unprecedented brutality and existential struggle across ancient China. This was total war, where entire populations were mobilized, their lives and resources bent towards the insatiable demands of conflict. Among the myriad kingdoms, Wei, Han, Zhao, Qi, Chu, Yan, one state emerged with an unyielding ambition, Qin. Forged by the harsh doctrines of legalism and Shangyang's reforms, Qin operated as a relentless military engine. Its societal structure prioritized military meritocracy over aristocratic birth, fostering an army of disciplined, land-hungry conscripts. This efficiency translated into continuous expansion, particularly into the strategically vital Central Plains. Qin had already carved significant territories from its neighbors, especially Wei and Han, who boarded its growing power. The other states watched, first with disdain, then with growing terror. Qin devoured its neighbors one by one. Survival was no longer guaranteed, it was a prize to be fought for. Inaction ensured obliteration. Qin's relentless expansion pushed Wei and Han to the brink. Their territories shrank, influence faded. Their very existence was threatened by Qin's insatiable appetite for land and power. The flashpoint, Qin's aggressive move against Han territory, aiming for strategic areas like Yingyang, or the fortified city of Huayang itself. This was no mere border skirmish, it was an existential crisis for Han and Wei. They faced complete absorption, their ruling houses extinguished, their people subjected to Qin's iron rule. Zhao, though not directly threatened yet, recognized the broader danger. Qin's hunger would not stop with Han or Wei. Allowing these states to fall would leave Zhao isolated, the next inevitable target. A fragile, desperate alliance formed, binding Han, Wei, and Zhao. This pooling of resources, a combined army from three major powers, was a rare and formidable sight. They marched with a hope born of desperation, believing even Qin's feared military might would shatter against the combined wrath of three kingdoms. The stakes were impossibly high. Success promised a temporary reprieve, failure meant accelerated doom for the beleaguered coalition. At the apex of Qin's military machine stood General Bai Qi. His name was whispered with dread and awe across the warring states. Known as Ren II, the Man-Slayer, his presence on the battlefield signaled catastrophe. His record was one of unprecedented slaughter. At Yeek, he had overseen the death of 240,000 enemy soldiers. Bai Qi was not merely a general. He was an instrument of the state's will, honed to a razor's edge. Under his command, the Qin army was a force of devastating efficiency. Disciplined ranks armed with superior iron weapons, motivated by ruthless meritocracy, capable of astonishing speed and maneuverability. They moved as one, an extension of his fearsome resolve. Against this titan, the coalition mustered its strength. Han and Wei committed their forces under commanders like Zhao Shou and Mang Mao, while Zhao contributed its contingent. Their combined numbers were imposing, potentially over 200,000 warriors, a formidable sight on any plain. Yet, this mass of men harbored inherent weaknesses. The coalition lacked a single, unified command, decisions would be slow, coordination fractured. Their military doctrines blended old and new. Wei and Han still relied heavily on traditional chariot warfare, a tactic obsolete against Qin's agile infantry. Zhao's formidable cavalry offered potential, but integration into a multi-state command remained a critical, unanswered question. These three kingdoms, facing the Man-Slayer, brought impressive numbers but fractured unity. It was a perilous gamble against Bai Qi's singular, deadly vision. The coalition forces, confident in their combined might, advanced deliberately towards the Qin positions. Their strategy was conventional: a massive, frontal confrontation where numerical superiority would grind down the enemy. They expected a straightforward clash of lines, a test of endurance and raw strength. But Bai Qi wasn't interested in fair fights. He was interested in annihilation. Bai Qi understood his adversaries' weaknesses: their deliberate pace, disunity in command, and predictable expectation of direct engagement. His plan was not a brute force assault. Instead, he designed a rapid, decisive flanking maneuver. While the main Qin army subtly engaged the coalition's attention, perhaps feigning a cautious defense or minor retreats, a shadow detached itself. Bai Qi's elite, fast-moving units, comprising light chariots and mobile infantry, disappeared into the terrain like a predator stalking its prey. They moved with incredible speed and stealth, executing a wide, undetected arc around the unsuspecting coalition. Surprise and deception were critical. The coalition remained utterly blind to the looming catastrophe closing in on their exposed rear. For a time, the plains of Huayang echoed with the familiar sounds of ancient warfare. Shields clashed against steel, spears thrust forward. Guttural cries of men filled the air. The vast coalition, confident in its numbers, engaged the main Qin army in a grinding frontal assault. They believed they held their own, pressing with determination in what appeared a brutal, methodical war of attrition. But Bai Qi had anticipated such an engagement. As the coalition committed its forces, a different sound pierced the din, a roar from behind their lines, where no enemy should have been. Bai Qi's elite units, having executed their unseen flanking maneuver, erupted from the coalition's exposed rear and sides. A torrent of Qin steel sliced through the unsuspecting ranks. Cohesion shattered, commands turned to desperate screams. The meticulously arrayed formations of three armies buckled, then violently broke under the unexpected, overwhelming blow. Soldiers, caught between relentless pressure from the front and the sudden, devastating attack from their flanks, plunged into immediate disarray. The main Qin army, sensing the collapse, pressed its advantage with renewed ferocity. This was no prolonged struggle. It was a sudden, brutal implosion, transforming a battle into a rout in mere moments. The true turning point at Huayang was not a prolonged struggle, but a sudden, devastating surgical strike: Bai Qi's successful execution of his audacious flanking maneuver. This single, decisive action irrevocably sealed the coalition's fate. Bai Qi's tactical brilliance lay in ruthless efficiency and foresight. He understood the coalition, while numerically superior, operated with a slower pace and lacked unified command. His strategy built on speed and deception, moving a substantial elite force rapidly and covertly around the enemy's main body, exploiting terrain for concealment. This required superior intelligence gathering, a hallmark of Qin's military, to understand both the landscape and the coalition's expected positions. The coordinated attack, the main Qin army engaging frontally while the flanking force erupted from the coalition's vulnerable rear, was a masterclass in combined arms. The psychological shock and panic induced by this surprise were as destructive as the physical blows, unraveling cohesion in moments. Conversely, the coalition's defeat stemmed from fatal mistakes. Their primary failing was a severe lack of reconnaissance, leaving them blind to Bai Qi's sweeping maneuver. This oversight bred dangerous complacency. They advanced expecting a conventional, linear engagement. Their command and control structure, fragmented across three distinct armies, proved incapable of rapid reaction or pivoting once flanked. Traditional, predictable formations, designed for frontal clashes, were fatally exposed to Qin's dynamic, fast-moving tactics. What if the coalition had deployed deeper, more vigilant scouts? What if they possessed a unified commander with the authority to redeploy units instantly, to respond to chaos? The outcome might have been different, but Bai Qi left no room for such what-ifs. Huayang was not merely a defeat, it was a tactical masterclass in ancient flanking maneuvers and a brutal, undeniable lesson in the supremacy of coordinated command and rapid execution over sheer numbers. 130,000 men. Not wounded, not captured, but slaughtered. This was the devastating, chilling tally at Huayang, primarily among the forces of Wei and Han, with Zhao's contingent also suffering heavily. The plains, which moments before had roared with the clash of vast armies, now lay as a silent, gruesome tableau, a stark, red landscape of broken bodies, shattered ambitions, and the ultimate cost of defeat. General Bai Qi's forces pursued the fleeing remnants without mercy, denying any opportunity for the routed armies to regroup or recover. The immediate political fallout was catastrophic. Han surrendered 3 principal generals, including Zhao, and was compelled to cede 8 vital cities to Qin. Wei suffered similar, crushing humiliation, its military power depleted, its territorial integrity deeply compromised by significant land losses. This battle had not merely claimed lives. It had irrevocably claimed land, stripped away pride, and fundamentally eroded the will to resist for the immediate future. Qin was no longer simply winning engagements. It demonstrated a brutal, annihilating efficiency that instilled existential terror in the hearts of its rivals. The psychological blow inflicted upon the remaining states was profound, cementing Qin's undeniable and terrifying ascendancy over the Central Plains. The Battle of Huayang stands as a brutal, decisive Qin victory, forever etched into ancient Chinese annals. It was a masterclass in military annihilation, orchestrated by one of history's most feared commanders, Bai Qi. He was not merely a general, he was an instrument of the state's will, honed to a razor's edge. Bai Qi mastered the art of war, transforming it into an art of extermination. Huayang was a chilling preview of the devastation he would unleash again and again, most notably at Changping, where 400,000 Zhao soldiers met their end. Huayang wasn't just a battle, it was another brick laid in the foundation of the Qin Empire. Each casualty, each ceded city, brought China closer to unification under Qin's iron fist. For Han and Wei, this defeat was a death knell, accelerating their eventual absorption into the burgeoning Qin state. Zhao, though not directly crushed, saw its allies fatally weakened, foreshadowing its own devastating confrontation decades later. Militarily, Huayang remains a testament to unified command, rapid maneuver, and superior intelligence. Bai Qi's flawless execution of a swift flanking attack against a numerically superior but disunited foe demonstrated tactical acumen centuries ahead of its time. It stands as a stark lesson. In warfare, unity of command and speed of execution can outweigh sheer numbers. The Warring States period was a crucible of conflict unlike any other. What other battles shaped the destiny of ancient China? Let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the History Atlas to relive these heroic pages of history.
History is full of secrets. Tap subscribe and explore more with the History Atlas.